Alright, hello everyone. We're back for this week's installment. So last week I asked you guys to try and think of a blue 3 converted mana cost card that would nullify Primeval Titan searches. The card I was speaking of is Ashiok. Its static effect will stop your opponents from searching their library as long as the effect is something they control. Now, I think that's pretty powerful. It obviously shuts it down pretty effectively. Something to consider. Another card to consider is Aven Mind Sensor. So that's a 3 mana flash flying creature which allows them to only search the top 4 cards of their library instead of the whole thing. In context of Primetime hitting their lands, hitting their lands. So they'll normally search for something like Field of the Dead, Valacult, or just Boris Garrison plus Slayer's Stronghold, and the other one that gives double strike. The other land they search for is Talaria West, and this will actually stop them from transmuting for Talaria West to get engineered explosives as well, which is quite important. And Ashiok will do the same. So those are things to keep in mind. Now this week, I don't want to spend too much time on the blue version. If you are running this at the moment, I haven't seen very much unfair magic, unbeatable magic, so I'd probably recommend putting Leyline, Force of Negation in the sideboard, and running something else in the main deck slot. So here's the list I've been running. This list, I'm at 19 wins and 6 losses with. I've been doing really well with this list. It's very aggressive. It's running the 2 Sentinel Eyes, 2 Griff Spoon, 2 Spirit Mantle, and 2 All That Glitters, with obviously the 4 Coronet Ethereal Armor, Hyena Umbra, and Rancor. It's also running Leyline of Sanctity in the main deck. This is because I'm sort of seeing a decent chunk of discard decks online, like your Death Shadow, your Jund, even Burn. It's got a lot of applicability there. I'm not actually minding this in the main deck. It doesn't feel too diluted. And I think one of the main reasons for that is I moved all of my copies of Path to Exile to the sideboard. So previously when I've played Leyline in the main, I've had 2 Path in the main, 2 to 3 Path with it. And it's just, it doesn't leave you with quite the amount of auras that you want to get your stuff happening. So yeah, I made a call to ship Path to Exile to the sideboard. I have not missed it at all. There's about 2 matchups I can think of off the top of my head where I would want it, which would be Infect and Wurza, and I haven't seen any of either of those in those 25 games that I've played. Now I did have Hushbringer only on 2, and I had Suppression Field on 3, but Hushbringer has been fantastic against a wide variety of decks. It's been good against the Amulet Titan deck. It might not sound like a lot, but stopping their prime time when they cast it from searching those 2 lands really slows down their deck a lot. And it's also very good against things like Hate Bears. It has applicability against Dredge as well. Yeah, very big fan of this card. If you haven't been playtesting with it, get around it. Other than that, yeah, you've got your 3 Graveyard Hate pieces in Rest in Peace and Grafdigger's Cage. Seeing a decent chunk of Dredge. I actually think we're favoured main board against both of those decks. And yeah, maybe 1 to 2 Path against Primetime, but definitely not against Dredge. It's not really where you want to be. Another card I'd like to increase in number, probably another Force of Vigor or a Seal of Primordium, something like that. But this is what we're just going to run at the moment for this league, so might as well get into it now. Okay. As you can see, I actually ended up getting a 5-0 with the deck. I also got 2 4-1s and 2 3-2s. I haven't finished negative with the list I've been running, so it's a pretty good place to pick it up. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, look at this. Hand full of gas. Absolutely full of gas. And we're on the play as well, which is fantastic. Even if they look to interrupt us, like, we're still dumping a whole heap on the board. Sentinel Eyes has been really good. If they wipe your board, you get to cast it again. It's a cast trigger. You get a draw off of your Court Spirit Dancer. It's pretty cool. It's been pretty useful for me against Amulet Titan. After they engineered Explosive on my board, I'll be able to bring it back out. Even if your Hyena Umbra saves the creature, just getting that 1 extra aura on board is pretty good. And 2 cards in the graveyard and 1 mana is very, very affordable. I'm a bit worried about Spell Snare here, so I'll probably just look to play the Hyena Umbra. Hopefully they don't counter it, and then if they counter the second spell with like a Spell Pierce or something, we're fine with that. Because we get to recast it pretty soon if they do. Yep. Alright, so we get to get in for 3. Sorry guys, my back's a bit sore, neck's a bit sore too. Haven't really been exercising as much as I should be. That's alright. Bringing you content. Alright, Scalding Tarn into Steam Vents. Is it like a Delver deck we're versing? Maybe. I don't think so. They're a bit reactive here. So here I'm probably just going to run out the All That Glitters. Just into a counter spell, and then hopefully we resolve Daybreak the turn after. If we ever get to draw. Opponent in the think tank. Not sure why. Another Leyline. So there's 2 dead draws. That's a bit unfortunate. Alright. What's my opponent got? Even if they don't counter this, I'm just really happy. Either way, I think I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Yeah, strangely enough though, yeah, there's the Spell Snare. So we called it on the first turn of the game. So next turn we have to look out for Snapcaster Spell Snare. But that's alright. We'll see what happens. They do have to eventually tap for something other than just counter magic. Yeah, so I went and I've been playing at my one of my local game stores. Played last night and went 3-1, came second, which is pretty good. I went for pretty much this list, but I think for that meta, I need to remove the Leyline from the main. Thing in the Eyes, that's just not fair. Looks like they're holding up another Spell Snare. So of course, depending on what your local game store meta is, you can just do what you want. I don't want to run into Spell Snare when I can still add damage, attack through this thing, and pressure them. So the Thing in the Ice is a card in a deck that we want Path to Exile for, and we don't really have any need for Leyline. Seems they're blue-red, so that'll be coming out. We might also bring in a Rest in Peace. just to, because we got a 4th slot after we remove 4 ley lines. This feels bad. I smell a cryptic command. It's pretty annoying. We've got them really low though. They're on 7. Really? We get to attack? Alright. They trading it. Wow. What are they doing here? Two mana. Blue 1. Brazen Borrower? Remove Rancor? If they've got Brazen Borrower, Petty Theft, yeah. Okay. So maybe we should have equipped the Griff Spoon pre-combat so they couldn't have done that. Just gonna run out and double spell here and hope to get them next turn before Thing in the Ice flips. I'll come off it. Go away. You and your nonsense. Get out of here. Alright, we'll drop the Rancor again. Basically here we just have to go for this this turn. If they flip the Thing in the Ice, we're probably not winning. This is the kind of deck I haven't seen a lot of recently. Opponent hasn't missed a land drop yet, so hopefully they're holding 1 or 2 in hand. Of course, we've got our own dead cards in hand as well. Alright, that's a good draw. So we're going to attempt a Daybreak here. And then we're going to run the Griff Spoon out after they counter it, probably. Alright, so they got the Remand. And hopefully we don't get flipped here. If we put them to 1, that's not bad. Maybe we can get something happening. Maybe we draw a fetch land and Dryad Arbor them. Oh, come on. Another bounce spell? Far out. Definitely think it's worth going for there. The upside's too high. But yeah, now we're in a pretty bad spot. Electrolyze has taken us down to 14, so we're 2 attacks from dead. Yikes. And they've got a Brazen Borrower too that we have to worry about. So we basically want to see like Ethereal Armor or something, so we can block this without dying, and hope they have nothing. Core won't do. Alright. Let's go Scout. And we'll use Core to try and block. Could just get Electrolyzed here. Oh man, this card's so bad against Electrolyze. Alright. Lighthouse, okay, that's good. That's good. Discard Misty Rainforest. So they did have a land, whether or not they drew it or was already there. Second Thing in the Ice. Alright, so we got to chump with our Glade Cover Scout here. Oh, do we? Maybe not. We'll just win if Core Spirit Dancer stays down. Let's go for the win. Oh, come off it. Get out of here, you bum. So, Core Spirit Dancer is going to die. And with it, our hopes and dreams. What were we drawing? Nothing good enough. Alright, these things out. What do we say? Path to Exile's in. And it's between Rest in Peace and Hushbringer. I'd prefer Rest in Peace, I'm pretty sure. Yep. The other option is a Gadok Teague, but they've got Brazen Borrower, so I don't like that as much. The reason why you'd want Teague is Cryptic Command, but again, I don't like it. We got them pretty low there. Bit unlucky. Alright, this is a good looking hand. Hopefully our library can help us out. A bit unfortunate. Just like a second Rancor or an Ethereal Armor, and our opponent wouldn't have been able to block for 3 and get that free block in. Then we could have gone the Glade Cover Scout route instead of the core. So here I think my Hyena Umbra is less valuable, so we'll play into Spell Pierce, and then hopefully we resolve the Rancor. Alright, looks like they've got a Thought Scour or an Opt or something. Yep, there it is. Alright, if they tap out for Thing in the Ice here, we just kill it. Beautiful. Land so we can do 2 things. That's sad. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I don't want to have them to have spell spam mana up, and we can be a bit patient on casting Path to Exile. They can't cast it. They can't flip Thing in the Ice this turn, and even if they flip it the turn after, it's alright. Or they go to flip it the turn after, we can kill in response. We're applying a lot of pressure here. So if they Brazen Borrower, they can bounce Rancor and take 3, but they still can't block because of Spirit Mantle. Or they can bounce Spirit Mantle and they still can't block because it will be 4 damage from Rancor Hyena. Oh, I smell a Blood Moon. I should have bought in some stuff for Blood Moon, guys. If we get a fetch land, we need to play around it. Okay, cool. Excellent. Okay. See what they go to do in our end step here. Snapcaster Opt. Alright, we can path in response to them casting Opt here. This is a really loose and impatient line from them, if you ask me. Yeah, okay, so let's get it. We'll play around the Blood Moon now that we can. And we'll get rid of Thing in the Ice. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I don't see how we lose from this position. They can't even bounce Spirit Mantle, play Anger of the God, because they only have like blue mana and they need 2 red to cast Anger. And even then we have Totem Armor, so they could bounce Hyena Umbra and then do that, but cool. Alright, well played game. I definitely smell Blood Moon from that game though. So we'll remove the Rest in Peace, and I'm pretty happy running back our very streamlined aggressive list. If you see a lot of Thing in the Ice in your meta, or Stoneforge Mystic, we can't keep that. What you can do is play a card called Savage Swipe. And basically you do Boggle turn 1, turn 2, 1 mana enchantment into kill their thing. And that way they won't get the mana and you still get like an attack for 4. It's pretty good tempo. Alright, we keep this. We need to bottom this. I don't think we get to play around Blood Moon here. So yeah, cool interaction is if your Dried Arbor is in your hand, you can pitch it to Force of Vigor because it does actually have green colouring, and you can do that through Blood Moon because lands don't have colours apart from creature lands that have been assigned a colour, so Blood Moon doesn't actually hurt you there. Okay, so we've got... We're at a bit of a crossroad here. I think we want to apply pressure. I don't really want to give him the mana here. We could core, but that's horrible into Electrolyze. But maybe we're not winning the game if we don't do that. We just force them to have it. They also could have Bolt, but I don't think so, because I don't think they have room for it while they've got Electrolyze. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what they do. This is, in my opinion, is my best route to victory here. Being on the draw in a multi 5. Good news is, if this sticks around, we've got Absolute Gas, and if they spend 3 mana casting Electrolyze, we're still probably okay. Alright, there it is. Card's good. I'm running a slightly higher fetch land count as well, and in 2 games of needing to play around it, I haven't seen a single fetch land, apart from when I drew into it in that second game, but it wasn't in my opener. So the route to victory is naturally draw planes. We're pretty boned. Really? Nothing from you. Opponent, I expect better. Not that they have to apply any kind of pressure. Lightning Bolt, yay, there it is. Apparently they do have room for it. So yeah, that's always something you need to consider when you have a turn 2 drop double aura or drop a 2 mana aura or a core spirit dancer. You got to consider things like engineered explosives, like Chalice of the Void or Blood Moon, because if you get locked out like this, it's just over. Snapcaster Opt. So we got one more chance. We might draw a Force of Vigor too. So we got like 2 outs here. But then we still have to deal with this thing. I guess if we draw Force of Vigor, we can exile this and then we can path that. It still doesn't feel very good. Because we have to do that all during their turn when they untap. They're still being patient? Alright. I'm going to concede here. We're not winning this. Drawing blank, boss. Underwater Bimbo. Alright, our hand's good. Our opponent's summoner name is interesting. Creeping Tar Pit. Gross. So this might be the... I versed like a blue-black control deck before that was running Dent of Winter in the main or the side. So Snowlands will indicate to us what they're doing. Okay, they dropped that. Really? Okay, that makes me feel a bit better. This is a pretty good draw here. This represents Spell Snare to me, so I really didn't want to play Spirit Mantle into Spell Snare, and playing just Titan Umbra was like not nearly aggressive enough. Maybe I should have played around Liliana. Oh shit. Okay, Creeping Tar Pit. Don't get punished. Good. Oh, next turn we can do some stuff to stop Liliana. That'll be nice. Is this a mana leak? No, it resolves. Okay, we've got a clock happening now, guys. And we've got Totem Armor backup. Really nice. Snapcaster Inquisition. Go your hardest. My opponent. Alright, might play around Field of Ruin, but next turn we can hardcast Leyline and have protection to Liliana that way, and still keep our clock happening. Ooh. Alright, no need to rush it. Let's just play out the Leyline. It's not worth the blowout. We're pretty far ahead right now. Alright, Force of Negation. Maybe I got punished here. We will see. Creeping Tar Pit attack. Okay. We just kill them. No need to reveal the all that glitters. So it didn't look like they were running Snowlands, so I'm not that worried about Dead of Winter. I probably want to bring in a couple of suppression fields for Liliana potentially. And this also affects their Creeping Tar Pits, their fetches, all of that. What do we want to take out? Probably Gristbone. Yeah, let's remove Gristbone. Alright, looks good to me here. We will bottom the Misty and start with our Leyline in play. No discard for our opponent. Hopefully we see them bottom both cards. One top, one bottom. Alright. Cool. So next turn we can attack for 7 if they tap out here. Alright. At least one of these is getting countered. Really? Wow. They must have kept something very discard heavy, and now they've not got anything to do. River of Tears makes me think Fairies, because I've never really seen a deck outside of Fairies play it. But alright, Liliana doesn't do much here. Each player discards a card. That is fine. So we just ignore this and attack face. And hopefully they don't have an edict effect that doesn't target. Like Liliana's Triumph. I wonder if our opponent realizes how dead they are. Not yet. Okay. So what we're playing around now is a Wrath effect, like Damnation. So we don't want to commit too much to the board. Yeah, they're just going to discard the Scout. That's alright. We would have done the same thing. Maybe we would have cast the Scout, but much of a muchness, I'm pretty sure. They don't have Cryptic Command mana. So Snapcast a block. Or just take it. I'm not sure what the value of doing this instant speed is when they could just, you know, actually get value out of the Serum Visions in their turn. Alright. If this resolves, we have our Damnation protection. We're feeling pretty good. Alright. Good games. So versus 2 decks, and main deck Leyline was good against one of them. We'll just keep track of that. I'm not sure what our opponent's game plan was there, because I didn't see any Brazen Borrower, and I didn't see Bitter Blossom, so not really sure what the value of their deck was. What their game plan was. Maybe they just like blue and black, but it didn't seem very strong. Hectories. Need to mulligan this. We also need to mulligan this. We also need to mulligan this. Alright, this is pretty good. So, I need to put 3 cards in the bottom. 1. 2, and then it needs to be one of these. Let's go for the raw power. Alright, we're versing Dredge. Oh wow, can we draw good, or can we draw good? Don't mind that at all. Alright, can we get super lucky and draw a Daybreak Coronet now, because we'd almost certainly win if we do. Alright, so they got a Dredge 5. Oh god. Double Ox isn't too bad, because they don't have any other Dredges in the bin yet. So now they can Shriekhorn themselves and hit a miss. Alright. My impression of this Ox is it decreases their consistency, but that it also, when they go off really hard, because there's 3 draw triggers that they replace with 3 dredges. It's pretty strong. Alright, so hopefully Core Spirit Dancer does not meet Conflagrate. Postboard, we want to keep in our Leylines because they will be bringing in discard, and we need to... Actually, maybe not. Because it's more important to disrupt them. They bring in Enchantment Destruction in Nature's Claim and potentially Force of Vigor. But they do bring in some discard. I think we just got to play around it or just ignore it. Two Creeping Chills, fun times. That reverses the clock a fair bit. Hardcaster Stinkweed. Does this only trigger from graveyard? Okay, they're bringing their Ox out. Okay. Discarding their hand. What was the dredge on Stinkweed? Stinkweed, Darkmoor. Okay. That's not too bad. We do need to draw something this turn to not just die here. It's not what we're looking for. We'd be in a much better place if they didn't hit two Creeping Chills. That card is obnoxious as all freaking heck. Oh, there's the third Creeping Chill. Nice. There's the fourth Creeping Chill. They're 2/3 of the way through their deck, and they get 12 free damage and 12 free life gain. Cool. Cool. Look at them, fucking 15 life. They would be on 3. They would be on 3. Absolutely ridiculous. So we just take lethal because Creeping Chill hit us for 1 million. Cool. Fun times. Creeping Chill is not near fair or balanced. It's absolutely absurd, and I cannot believe they printed it. It's fucking atrocious. Alright, so let's make our opponent want to quit some magic with these 3. And then we probably just bring in our Hushbringer. It will interrupt with their prized amalgam triggers, and it will also interrupt what the Ox does when it enters with its discard and draw 3. So that's what we want. Obviously we can't play around Thoughtseize here without diluting our deck, which we don't want to do. But I mean, if you know in your local game store someone brings in 6 discard spells against you, it's probably worth keeping in. Then you just trim on a couple of all the glitters or a couple of Gristburns, which lose value. Actually, let's remove a Gristburn and add the second Hushbringer. Yeah. I don't think Gristburn's as valuable because they have flying blockers. And if that's the only aura, or if it's like Gristburn Rancor and we're attacking for 4 in the air, they're going to chump block all day and trade off. It feels really bad. That was also a multi-4, keep in mind. Alright. So turn 1, obviously Boggle. Turn 2, we need a decision between core or my enchantments, and it will depend on what I draw. If I draw like a Daybreak Coronet, I'll just jam these 2 enchantments and then get Daybreak online as fast as possible, start attacking. If not, these auras on a Boggle don't seem that exciting to me at all, so we'll just play Core Spirit Dancer and look to suit up Spirit Dancer and attack them for 1,000,000. Shriekhorn, alright, so nothing too aggressive from our opponent. Alright, I still like the Core Spirit Dancer line here. Absolutely no pressure yet. Creeping Chill. Hooray! Still better than the Dredger at this stage. Alright, they've missed on their Shriekhorn. Fingers crossed, no Conflagrate. Excellent. Alright, we probably win. Although that is a lot of dredging they've just done. Double Stinkweed Darkmorph. Alright. I don't want to show them the flying yet. So we get to attack them down to 8 here. It's pretty good. Next turn, even if they have a board, we're probably just going to be big enough that it doesn't matter. That, and we're going to be flying in the air. I think we just win this game off of Core Spirit Dancer's power. The thing that would save them would be a Nature's Claim on the Rancor, but then we can recast it post-combat. So our opponent's low-rolled here. They've only hit 1 Creeping Chill out of 40 cards, which is nice. Yeah. Unless they've trimmed on them for the enchantment destruction. Oh wow, they've committed so hard across here. But they're just dead. It's like, all of that's for nothing, because we just fly in the air now. If we could actually... I think we already have lethal. Just in case something funky happens. Oh god. Far out. So they can block with 4 creatures and we still deal 9 damage. Alright. Core Spirit Dancer OP. So you can see how out of hand that got pretty quickly. On the draw, one of Grisboon saved our butt there a fair bit. Let's keep, and let's hope to see Sideboard Hate in our opening hand. I'm not mulliganing this. It's too good. Do need to draw cards, but this is good enough. Can our opponent not turn 1 Shriekhorn? Oh, you beautiful, beautiful card. Alright, looks like one of our games we will get a Daybreak. So Dredge Loam on the draw. Double Bloodghast, gross. Rest in peace. Nope. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we just want to jam Hushbringer here. They're starting to dredge a lot, and I'm getting scared. That's probably wrong, actually. Because we do have Daybreak in hand. We just don't have a form of trample yet, or we have Griff's Boon, but because they have Narcomoebas, it's sort of weak. We'd prefer a Spirit Mantle or a Rancor. Alright, so that stopped the prized amalgams trigger, so they don't have 2 prized amalgams because of my Hushbringer there. Creeping Chill still does gross stuff. No real news flash there. 25 cards deep, only 1 Creeping Chill. It's good for us. So we want to make sure we do not play into a Nature's Claim here, because we could go Aura Coronet, like Ethereal Armor Coronet attack. But if we play into a Nature's Claim, we're just in a very bad spot. Let's get the Forest. Let's go a Hyena Umbra on the Hushbringer, and then all that glitters. Now we can attack for 5 in the air, gain some life back, and then we can chunk with the Boggle on the ground. Oh, gross. Our opponent now has access to Blast Zone. I forgot they ran that. I've been boarding in Pithing Needle to play around it. I think in that second Griff Spoon slot. Just slipped my mind in this particular game. We don't want to block here. Hopefully we see Spirit Mantle. I'm pretty happy. We've already got lifelink down, so I'm pretty happy just going in Ethereal Armor, getting the draw trigger, and then getting to attack for 8. Seems pretty good to me. Now our opponent doesn't have a good Blast Zone activation on either 1 or 2. We're at a very healthy life total. He's not even going for it. I'm like supremely confused as to why he's not going for that. Alright, so now we can just suit up our core Spirit Dancer and start attacking wide in the air. And hopefully we draw a second white source for our Daybreak Coronet. That'll do. That will do. Alright, opponent's seen enough. Alright. So you sort of saw Hushbringer slowed the prized amalgams right down there. I think they might have taken out some of their Oxes, if not in game 2, then in game 3, because we didn't see them at all in game 3. Yeah, just keep in mind, Pithing Needle is very useful on Blast Zone, and it's almost the only reason why I have Pithing Needle in the deck, is because this runs Blast Zone, Amulet Titan runs Engineered Explosives, and Eldrazi, Tron, and Tron run Blast Zone. I don't like Blast Zone as a card. It's really good. Alright, we will keep this. We are on the play, which we always like to see. We'll lead off on Misty Rainforest in case we need to fetch basic planes. So far, the hand is looking very good. Once upon a time, I'd really like for this to be Amulet Titan. It's Infect. Oh, damn. Ooh. This is a rough matchup. They're running Breeding Pool. Interesting. So we're just going to go for the Core Spirit Dancer kill here. And we're going to use our Slippery Boggle to block the Glistener Elf. As long as they don't have Dismember, we should be pretty good. Rancor. I haven't seen this since like the green-black days. Alright, let's start off with our fetch. Go to the Rancor. Excellent. It's not really worth going the Daybreak Coronet there, because the life gains are relevant. And yeah, we've got Leyline out to help buff the Ethereal Armor. That was an excellent turn 3, guys. I cannot believe we stole this game. Holy moly. Ooh. Alright, so we want these paths. Is there anything else we want against Infect? We're sort of missing a card here. This could just be a chump blocker. This can slow down the Ink Moth Nexus. This. I think this is our best option for Ink Moth Nexus. It hits it the hardest. Oh, actually, sorry. They bring in Spellskite, so we want to be bringing in Force of Vigor. And we actually probably want the Pithing Needle as well for an All That Glitters. We want blocking. We want to be able to block their flyers with Griffspoon. Yep. Okay, this seems pretty good. So that's also something to keep in mind when you're casting your auras or choosing orders and stuff. Man, this is so medium. He's begun with 7. Let's mulligan. Alright, this is way better. We're going to keep this. We're going to bottom a Bogle. The deck is way more resilient because of Once Upon a Time. Let's hope they've got the one Infect creature. They missed on their Once Upon a Time. Blighted Agent. Alright. So we'll just take the one Infect, and then end of turn we're going to path away the Blighted Agent. I feel more comfortable playing double one-drop creature here, just so we have chump blockers out. Just running Core Spirit Dancer, we're never blocking, and it puts us way too far behind. This is the Pendlehaven. No Distortion Strike, please. Alright, there's the Distortion Strike. We go to 1. We need to draw a Path to Exile here. That card does not read Path to Exile. Alright. Good game. On the play, let's remove a Gristburn for a suppression field. Alright, this hand is amazing. Keep, and so typically the way Infect will play is they'll play on, when they're on the play, they'll play a turn 1 Glistener Elf. When they're on the draw, they'll play a turn 1 Noble Hierarch. So if I was to bottom the Glade Cover Scout here, path their turn 1 creature, it would most likely be a Noble Hierarch, so just based off of like play patterns. So we have to bottom something here. I think we bottom the Rancor and hope the core draws us in. Let's just ditch core. Core's probably just trying to be a bit too fancy. Like, we're versing a combo deck, and our best way to race a combo deck is core, but I don't know. Alright, there's the Glistener Elf. So here we're just going to attack for 2. We don't want to give them too much mana here, so end of their turn we're going to path, and then during our turn we'll double aura and swing. What are you casting, opponent? Blossoming Defense. I'm just going to let that happen. They're probably going to do a second aura for 4 damage here at Groundswell. Mutagenic Growth. I've done this wrong. I should be playing around Spell Pierce and cast Path to Exile first. Oh, well, let's see what they've got. This sticks, we can attack. It did not. So I'm just gonna look to block here. We've got a lot of power and first strike. Come on! Distortion Strike every game. It's bullshit. Let's just fake we've got something with this shock. I don't know what that would represent, but we'll hopefully make our opponent double guess. So if we had attacked last turn, we'd have them dead. Do they just not have it? Okay, they've got it. Alright, so maybe I played a slightly too reserved there. If I'd have turn 1 or turn 2 paths their creature, we probably would have been sitting a bit better, but this is a pretty bad matchup for us. They're just... way faster and more consistent than us. Like, it's a similar strategy, and you use 12 creatures plus some pump effects to knock your opponent out, but in their case they only have to count to 10, we have to count to 20. So despite not having hexproof, it's a lot faster and more aggressive. It's more susceptible to removal, but yeah. Yes. So yeah, if we'd done the attack when, instead of me attempting to path and then hold up a blocker, we would have been alright, but because they didn't have the mana to both Distortion Strike and kick Vines, so we lost to our misplays there. So yeah, one other thing, guys, is I've been doing some mucking around on Pioneer. I think the deck has potential now that they've printed Sentinel's Eyes. Paradise Druid has hexproof as long as it's untapped, and now we have access to potentially 8 vigilance effects. So, I mean, 8 feels like enough for me to think of that as a viable option. Right now the issue is going to be sorting out the land base, and there's the green-white cycle land, which has forest and plains typing. I think that needs to be included in these plains slots, and then maybe 1 or 2 mana confluences for these forests. I think 21 or 22 lands also correct, even though most lists are only running 20. It's a higher mana curve than the modern deck, and people should be taking that into consideration. Alright, this is just good enough. Alright, let's see what our opponent is up to. Blue, get out of here. Snowland. Okay, we're versing Wurzer. We just want to be as aggressive as we can here. Our hand isn't nearly aggressive enough for my liking in this matchup. This is the first time in the entirety of me playing Leyline main deck that I have versed Wurzer, so that's in 30 games main deck. So our Hushbringers will really shine here, and so will our suppression fields. Shut down a lot of what our opponent's doing. There's no real difference playing Dryad Arbor second main or the same time because they're tapped out and can't produce a Thopter or anything. If they have a bounce effect, they should bounce the Hyena Umbra now. make Daybreak fall off before Rancor drops down. They are sacrificing. What do you got, opponent? 4, 5, 6. Were? Get out of town. Yay, ensnaring bridge. Magic is fun. I have fun playing Magic. Yay. My hatred for this card is obscene. It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. We're only running 1 Force of Vigor in the sideboard for it as well, so that's great. We can shut down their Whirs with guarantee. I have a feeling like we're bringing in a lot here. Oh, they're drawing a card, so we can attack for 4 damage, potentially. What are they doing? Bounce Whir. Okay. What? Engineered Explosives is the next card they're getting, maybe? Seems weird. So this will give way more than 4. We just want to attack for our 3 damage here. I'm a bit confused as to why they're doing Whir there. Getting that on top with Sanctuary. This card's really strong. The fact they can search for it is dumb. This effect without that search would still be really powerful. And would still be getting play. The fact they can search for it is just giving way too much love to blue decks. You got another Whir? Whir for 2, alright. What, you got your Thopter sort of the make? Yeah, cool. So we're not beating that. So stupid. Alright, bringing in almost our entire sideboard. Gristbone's kind of pointless. Rest in Peace also shuts them down. We're at risk of overboarding here, so we need to sort of decide what's our best makeup. So this will shut down their Emery, their Urza, and their Thopter Sword combo, and Goblin Engineer if they're running it. So this is a definite yes. This will stop their Whir, which we kind of need. Ensnaring Bridge. So that's a softer lock. It hits their fetches, and it also hits the activation on Sword of the Make, so it stops that from going infinite. That hits their creatures. Alright, let's go that. This feels really hard to sideboard for. Really, really hard. So we've removed 4 auras from the main deck. That's a fair bit. That could be overboarding a bit there. I might just remove a scout and bring in an all that glitters. Yeah. Opponent is taking an absurdly long time to sideboard against an aura hexproof deck. Sure, let's keep it. Quick game's a good game. So opponent's on 6 cards. I still bet you their 6 is better than their 7. There is a chance this just shuts down their whole deck, which would be fantastic, depending on what half of their deck they've drawn. Oh my god, opponent, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, I did a lot of playing off camera, and I did some playing with my friend helping me. I was playing with my friend, watching, and we can turn 3 Rancor and Daybreak Coronet, so I'd like to get this out right now. And one of the observations he's made was the way I play is a bit like a dog that has been smacked on the nose with a newspaper one too many times. And that I need to play more aggressive because this is an aggressive deck. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been getting results with it. And it's, you know, a weakness of my gameplay. Like I've spent a long time being like, okay, they can cryptic here, or they can do this. Let's slow roll this. I think there's times where that's important, but I've been like overdoing it way too much, and I need to tighten up a lot more and just play aggressive. Honestly, why is our opponent taking so long? Are they like double queuing on the last game? It seems so absurd. Alright, this does nothing. There's the Goblin Engineer. Good card. No engineered explosives for you. No ensnaring bridge for you. Yeah, now they have information of what's on my library and what's on their library. And they get 2 draws. And we get in for 1 more point of damage if we suit up the Glade Cover Scout here. Okay, they've got servos. Cool. So they stop 1 point of damage in the air. And they've turned one into a Misha's Bobble, which they're sacrificing. That's pretty nifty. And they're targeting me on that sacrifice. Gotcha. Okay, so these servos don't have flying, so we can just fly over the top of them anyway. That makes more sense as to why they sacrifice, because otherwise they could just double block Hushbringer and save 1 point of damage. It's looking like Hushbringer's shot them down pretty well. Alright, let's attack with both here. And then we're going to drop both down. Let's attack that at Saheeli. That at him. That way if they activate Saheeli, it dies. Seems slightly more relevant. 1 point of damage on our opponent. Return Misha's Bobble. Okay. You got it. So they're currently getting a free Misha's Bobble each turn. They are, however, drawing a lot of free cards off them. So other than hard casting and snaring bridge, I don't know how they get out of this. Wait, does that destroy a card or just... Okay, that's fine. Emery does nothing when it enters. Sounds good to me. That good. All right. Well, that was really good. And Rest in Peace is, for all intensive purposes, another 2 Hushbringers. Core Scout. Yeah, this seems pretty good. Alright, we'll keep this. It's got a lot of hate in it. I'm a big fan. It does take until turn 2 for us to do anything though, so that's a bit upsetting. They could have a very explosive turn 1 and 2, and then it's too late for us, because we'll have our first turn passed to them and they get their second turn. But yeah, seems good enough. Seems good enough. So it should be noted they've kept 7 and they're taking this long to decide. After I've just decided my mulligan and what to bottom, and they're taking that long to do their turn 1. Alright, they've done nothing on their turn 1. Here comes Emery. Ugh. Yuck. Pentad Prism. That seems kind of deep. Alright. Alright, let's get rid of this nonsense, because they could engineer and then return something with Emery. It's not hugely happy about that, with how long they're taking to do anything here. Cool. And they've just used Mish's Bogles, so they know our next draw. They're running black as well. Okay, we have to be a little bit scared of Dead of Winter if they're running black and Snowlands. Hopefully we draw land so we can Teague into armor. And that will make it a 4/4. Don't draw land. Alright, let's run out our thing, and we've got all the enchantments we could ever want to drop down and start swinging next turn. Blood Moon. Oh, opponent, don't do this to me. Wait, Galvanic Blast as well? Yikes, we pissed them off. It's a shame we didn't hit that land, because that would have been a 4-power Gadok Teague and we would have had a game. If our opponent didn't have Gadok Blast in game 2, they would have brought it in game 3 after seeing those meddling Hushbringers. So now we basically just need to draw our Force of Vigor and some creatures. We can use our Rancor and Force of Vigor to get out of this lock. We do have a bit of time, because Rest in Peace is buying us a lot. So yeah, as I was saying, pretty game in the deck tech. Kind of want that second Force in there. This game is highlighting why. Our odds are pretty low right now to draw out of this. We've got 2 basic lands and 1 Force of Vigor. But hey, we're taking 2 damage a turn. And their Thopter is offline, and it's not all bad. Not all bad. 2 cards in hand. We do have time. The top card of my library again. Come on, man. I'm not doing anything. Why do you care what's in my hand on my library? if we ever draw Force, we now have a Dryad Arbor off of our Windswept Heath. And we now have a Glade Cover Scout. Life total is starting to get low now that they're sacking things to Thopter Foundry. We got one more turn and we're just dead. One more draw. Oh man, I don't even think we get out of it then, because even if we Force of Vigor, Thopter, and the Blood Moon, we're still taking 3 damage and would need to not take any damage from a flying creature. Alright, opponent had it. So, nothing too exciting there. Yep. So, there's the deck list, guys. Having played that out, I mean, Suppression Field, I love the card, but I think everything else we've got in there is sort of doing the job better at the moment. So, I'm cutting at least one. What else would I want? Maybe we'll cut the other one for an Aven Mind Sensor and test that. So yeah, this would work really well against Whir as well. Flash this in response, and they can only search the top 4 cards of their library. If they get Ensnaring Bridge off that, you know what? Good for them. Alright, so that's it for the league, guys. If you want to see more green-white, I know I'll be playing a bit more of it, but let me know below. If you want to see more Bant, let me know. For Bant, I'll probably look at putting a couple of Curious Obsessions back in. I think I was a bit hasty cutting them and moving Force of Negation to the sideboard. So the deck would look a little bit different to what it does now, but potentially be very sweet, very fun. So yep, let me know. Other than that, if you want to see my 5-0, I can potentially do a replay like I did a replay of my Bant League, and just commentate the replay. If you enjoyed that last time that I commentated, let me know there. Other than that, please like the video, and yeah, thanks, and we'll see you next time.